Hi all. I'm sitting here in this amazing Airbnb that I'm staying in at Port Macquarie, and it's absolutely gorgeous today. It's a beautiful sunny day, and I'm really relaxing. It's beautiful. Getting ready for my meditation class tonight. So, and I've got this gorgeous sun streaming down. So what I want to talk about is stories. And you know, it's really interesting that, you know, one of the things I really love to work with is stories, because it's the stories that we not only tell ourselves, but that we express daily, you know, that we can often get stuck in, right? Now, if you're in a story that you really love, because life really is a story. Life's a story that you tell yourself. If you're in a story that you love, it's fabulous. You know, I love that, and I think we're all striving for that, aren't we? We're like, okay, I don't like this reality that I'm in right now, so I need to shift it. So shifting it just means changing the story. But what I've noticed sometimes, especially when I'm working with people, is and also just in observing people, is that sometimes we don't know who we are without the story. We don't know who we are if we're going to change the story. So, you know, I have had clients, many clients over the years, that want help, they want to change, they want the shift, but they really just don't know who they are outside of that story. And this goes for all aspects of life, right? Whether it's a health issue, whether it's a financial issue, whether it's a relationship issue. If you cannot see yourself outside of that story in another story, then it's very difficult to shift it. Now, I was in a lack story for 4 or 5 years, right? And I found that difficult to shift because, well, for very many reasons, but one of them was I couldn't see myself as abundant. I couldn't see myself outside of the lack. I didn't have another story to step into. And, you know, then there's also that other question, who am I without this? Who am I without this? And I think this happens a lot, especially with health issues, right? Especially if you've had something for a long time, or, you know, it kind of starts defining you. And when you start healing that, you know, these words pop into your head. Who am I without this? So, and it's that actual question and that story that really is the first step to the next. So when I'm working with people, and or even, you know, myself, which I'll talk about in a minute with this journey that I'm on right now, but when I'm talking with people and I really, you know, ask them where they want to be, and what are these shifts that they want in their life, and, you know, what is the obstacle, what's the blocks. Sometimes there are no blocks, but when I ask them to vision their next story, they can't do it. And there's the issue. So this is what I can really help with, is to really shift that mindset from I need to stay in this story because it's all I know, or I don't know who I am outside of this. I can really help people to see who they are, and that the story is only a small part of themselves. So the trick is to to already be into the next story of you. So, for instance, for this move, I've just moved state, and I'm now stepping into the story of me that I've had for a while but didn't believe. And how did I get the belief of it? How did I change that? I visioned more strongly and more intensely the new story that I wanted to be in, and the new story of me. And then I took the steps that I needed to take to get there. And you know, things do happen. Nothing's random, right? Things do line up for you, but you have to take that action, and you have to take those steps. But when you're caught in that middle, I call it the no man's land. When you're caught in that no man's land of finishing the old, but not quite in the new yet, is that like that void? You know, your vision is really important, and you have to just keep taking those steps towards that new story. And you know, you also have to keep speaking it. This is the other thing, right? You can't be stepping into a new story if you're still speaking the old. So really the trick here to stepping into a next chapter or a new story or a new phase of your life and something different is to begin visioning it and speaking it. That's so important. I've just got distracted here because where I'm staying there's a dog, and I've noticed he's just been up and got something out of our bags, which he's now chewing. So I was a bit distracted there. Now the reason I wanted to get on and just talk about this topic is that there are many people who seek help and never change, and then they just kind of say, oh well, it just doesn't work for me. But the question that is really holding them back is, who will I be without this? Who will I be without this thing, this issue, this drama in my life, this block, this health issue, this financial issue, this lack, this, you know, relationship stuff? Who will I be without that? Because sometimes we really cling to the identity of that thing, what that thing gives us. And I remember, you know, clearly when I was many years ago in a different business, and there was a lady who used to come in, and she had quite a few issues, epilepsy and diabetes and all sorts of things. But she identified herself with those. I am whatever it was she had, right? And so she became that. And so for her to step out of that and not be that anymore, or to, you know, try to make some changes there, she would have had to have disassociated herself with it and said, well, you know, I am healthy, however I have this condition. And that's a really different energy. But a lot of people can't see outside of the identity they've given themselves, and therefore the story can't change. So, you know, the trick really is, who or what do you want to be, and what story are you in now? What story does it have to be to get there? And in that void, what can you do to move forward step by step to that new story and not keep clinging on to the old? Ask yourself, you know, who am I in the middle of this story, and who am I in the middle of my next story? And if you're finding it difficult to move forward, ask yourself, Who will I be without this? Right? Figure out who you are without that story, and you'll be able to move forward. And if you still really can't move forward after that, really just ask yourself, how is this story that I'm in right now, how is it benefiting me? Right? Because we don't do anything or stay anywhere if it's not benefiting us in some way, right? So do those things today, and really see if you are looking for change and you're looking to start a new story of you. You have to be prepared to find out who you really are, without the stories, because then you can move forward and have that shift. All right, I'm going to go and see what this dog's chewing now. Bye, everyone.